we have many Maisa mitzvahs that we do. Shake lulav, sit in the sukkah, and some put on film today. And but we don't find such a concept that the mitzvah itself has such a ramification in the in a person's life. It says kol shana, that any year that you don't blow in the beginning of the year is trouble at the end of the year. The Gemara says. So what is it? You're just blowing the shofar. We're not talking about. Okay, thank you. We're not talking about the guy's not davening. We're not talking about the guy davening. Look, Havani Kadaven. He did tshuva, and it says they didn't blow the shofar in the beginning of the year. Then it's not good for him.
Doesn't it have to do like Matthias?
What?
Doesn't it have to do like Matthias?
Yeah, but I'm saying is there's a lot of Maisa mitzvahs out there. You shake the lulav, and it says when you shake the lulav, it stops the talol and royim, it stops the bad things. Okay, but let's say there's an oinus, there's no lulav out there. It doesn't say any year that you didn't shake the lulav, it's going to be a bad towel is going to come. You're going to have a rough year. And here we have something which is like a Maisa mitzvah. The Torah said blow the shofar, finish, blow the shofar. The Torah says to blow the shofar, and yet it's like a tool. It's a tricky tool. You blow it, and then you have a good year. You don't blow it, you don't have a good year. It's something which is fascinating in the Maisa mitzvah. It's almost like it's the Torah says in you do the mitzvahs, it rains. You don't do the mitzvahs, it doesn't rain. It's very direct result. You do a mitzvah, there's a direct result. We don't see it so much today. Like the Mefarshim say, today you could have people doing mitzvahs and it doesn't rain in the right time. Rambam says a person does a mitzvah, it's going to rain in the right time. Live in Eretz Yisrael, the Mashiach will come the way it's supposed to be. That's how it works. You do the mitzvah, it rains. You don't do the mitzvah, it doesn't rain. But here we have one mitzvah. We have here a dogma where Chazal tell us straight away: you do this mitzvah, good year. You don't do it, not so simple. Even if you're Einus, you didn't do it. What about on Shabbos? Chum say not to blow it, but the rice you have to blow. Chum say don't blow on Shabbos, so now you're going to have a bad year. It's the big kasha. Rabbi Blazer says, he used to say, this was his Rosh HaShana, before the Tkiyas, he would say, you see how scary it is. Maybe you will be over Shabbos, you'll carry the shofar. Maybe one place in the world at one time, someone will carry the shofar 4 amos outside Mishra. So Salah said, don't blow shofar. Bad year? What can we do? Don't blow shofar. You see that the fear of doing an Avera. But I'm just pointing out this interesting fact that we have something here as a Maisa mitzvah, which is very, it's very. In essence, part of our success is the blowing of the shofar, which is very powerful. And you see, you said here that the blowing of the shofar is not just a mitzvah; it's actually part of the tefillah. It's part of davening. It's an aspect of davening. We all know if a person doesn't daven, there's a good chance he won't have such a great year. Right? Davening is very important. Well, blowing the shofar, it says, Imru lefanai, say in front of me, Malchias, Chroinus, and Shofars. Say the Psukim. You see, when we daven, sometimes we tend to have more kavanah on the tefillah part, on sort of the begging Hashem part, and then in there is, we say 10 Psukim. We say 10 Psukim by Malchias, we say 10 Psukim by Zechroinus, and 10 Psukim by Shofars. But there's 10 Psukim which we say on each thing, in the Musaf Shemon Esrei, in each concept, and it says, you say in front of me, and it goes up to Hashem with the shofar. So sort of the thing that makes this tefillah go up to the Rebbeinu Shalom goes through the shofar and up. So we say these psukim, and the shofar is part of the tefillah. So it's an interesting concept. I thought I'd share with you that it's not just a mitzvah, a Maisa mitzvah, shaking lulav and esrog. It's actually part of the tefillah. Actually, by lulav and esrog, there's also such a concept. So we shake by howl. It's also part of the tefillah. So it's another one which is, in essence, part of the tefillah. But in the shofar, to make such a big difference, blow the shofar, and they, Rosh HaShana is going to switch from kisei din to kisei rachamim. You don't blow the shofar, you did the wrong trick. He's not moving. But I had all the kavan in the world that I davened, and you see such a concept where the mitzvah plays a very strong role in our davening. Now, we'll get to that a little later, but just to start off with a little halachas, which are interesting. First of all, we all know that there are certain mitzvahs which are chaviv, which are very, we call it beloved to us, certain mitzvahs. And because of that, we're more strict in how we go towards the mitzvahs. In other words, we all know that a person doesn't eat before davening. He doesn't eat before davening. And if he's hungry, if he needs to eat, so he eats a little bit. He takes pachas mikabeya, less than a kabeya, or a kabeya, but not more than a kabeya. You can eat that amount the person needs. If it's necessary. You're not supposed to have a suda before a mitzvah. You're not supposed to partake in a whole meal before one goes to do a mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
So, included in that is shofar. A person's not supposed to partake in a meal before he blows shofar. You have to close that wall there. That's where the noise is coming from. You know how to do that?
What about at a simcha, like you're at a chasana and everyone runs out from the meal and goes to daven Mariv?
Yeah, so that's a good question. About davening Mariv, you have your meal by a chasana and you have to daven Mariv. So if you have a minyan kavua, so there are kulas. In other words, if there's a minyan kavua, you're always davening, which is later, so then you can be saimach on that, so you have to make a Scheiner. But these things don't help for these mitzvahs, the raisa, lulav, shofar. You can't make I have a minyan kavua starting at 10 o'clock, so I'll eat a whole meal beforehand. It doesn't work. You can't eat before the mitzvah. So the question is, Tkiyah shofar. Some places the davening gets quite late, and what's with eating before the shofar? That's the question that the place can deal with. Now, the strict letter of the law should say that one shouldn't eat anything, but if one needs to, they can eat the same way they can eat until a kabeya. Until a kabeya, as long as it's not a suda, you can eat. Now some will argue, well, a suda is only bread, so a kabeya bread, you're allowed to eat less than a kabeya bread, but anything that's not a suda, you can eat. So mezainis maybe is not a suda, so you can eat away. You can have a whole kiddush club. You have mezainis. You can have a sol suda. Some will argue. And it has basis in halacha also. I mean, there's a machlokes what's considered a suda. For example, a person's going to eat in a sukkah, right? So you're allowed to eat out of the sukkah. Less than a shir suda, you're allowed to eat out of the sukkah. So someone's going to work. It's a shaila every year. You guys working on the sukkah. So what do I do? You're allowed to eat outside a sukkah as long as it's not a suda. So the question is, what consists of a suda and what doesn't? On the flip side, you go into a sukkah and you want to eat a mezainis, do you make a leisha b'sukkah? Well, if you're not chayiv to eat this amount in the sukkah, I'm not going to make a leisha b'sukkah. You can't burn the candle on both sides. You go have outside the sukkah a whole meal, as long as I'm not eating bread, and then go eat in the sukkah, your piece of cake and make a leisha b'sukkah. They go together. What's my chayiv? What's considered a suda that's a kviyas that I have to make a bracha on? So the same question is by Tkiyah shofar, what's the guidelines for this? So there's such a shita that as long as you're not eating the suda, you can eat it outside the sukkah. Now, outside, I'm going to say you can eat before Tkiyah shofar. Now. The Magen Avraham in Hilchos Lulav says that the same question is for Lulav. You want to eat before you shake Lulav. It's also a mitzvah. The person's hungry. He knows it's going to be a long day in shul, so he wants to sit and eat something before he does the mitzvah of Lulav. So the Magen Avraham is mistapik if you're even allowed to have te'ima. Te'ima is even less than a kabeya. He says possibly since it's a mitzvah that's chaviv, it's a mitzvah that you do once a year, it's not a common mitzvah all the time. So more stringent, I would say one can't even have te'ima.
Could you make a philip because lulav everyone shakes for the shofar, you have to wait for the basket?
It's just, the mitzvah is the same. The mitzvah is that everyone has to hear the shofar.
You would think to be more meekle
By which?
by the shofar, because you have to, or whatever. You have the framework where you have to wait for the basket.
You'll have to wait.
You just do it at home.
You could do it before. Well, you could do it before you eat. But if you didn't, if somebody didn't, he wants to do it shul, like a bracha before halal. Yeah.
If he doesn't know how to blow, he has to wait.
Yeah.
So maybe you'd want to be more meekle.
Maybe to give him, make it easier for him. Yeah. The question is, what's the halacha? Is he allowed to eat before he does a mitzvah? So, the Magen Avraham is mistapik if you're allowed to even have te'ima before lulav. Based on that Magen Avraham, because the mitzvah d'oraisa, which comes only once a year, based on that Magen Avraham, says the shofar is the same thing. Therefore, many are machmir not to do eat anything, even a te'ima, even a smaller amount, before tkiyas shofar, which is very interesting. There's a there was a they used to have I don't know how you say the word chalaria. It was a sickness that was chalaria. There was a sickness that was cholera.
That's what that's. Yeah, it was cholera. That's what it was.
Yeah, and the question was, people had to eat not because they were sick. They actually had to eat so they would be healthy, that they wouldn't catch it. That was the thinking then. That if they were healthy and they ate, they wouldn't. It was going around and they wouldn't catch it. So the Kiveger in Posen, who was the Rav there, and he made a kiddush after the tkiyas in the Miyushav. After the first set of tkiyas, we know the good guys that we'll see that the person makes an announcement. No one should talk and be mafsik until the last, tkiyas at the end. But the Kivega, after the first set of tkiyas, that down they made kiddush and everybody ate, and then they did the sex. They made a hefsek between the two sets of tkiyas. Why? Because he held you can't eat before the first tkiyah. It's not possible to eat before the first tkiyah. So it's better that they should eat between the tkiyas. After they heard the first set of tkiyas, so now they already heard the mitzvah d'oraisa, so now they should eat then, and then they went to musaf rather than eating before. So the question is that more preferable? A guy wants to eat, maybe he should sit down and eat between the tkiyas. Or maybe not. You're not supposed to be mafsik between the first tkiyas and second tkiyas. Right. So they want to say possibly Rabbi Kivega was there. They really had to eat more than a shir suda, not just a te'ima. They had to eat more than a Pesach. Pesach says maybe they had to eat to be healthy. They had to eat a proper amount. So then that much Rabbi Kivega didn't want to allow before the tkiyah shofar. But if it's just a question of eating a te'ima, which is less than a kabeya, then possible if a person needs it, it's better to do it before the tkiyah shofar. That's how we're noig. Very rarely we're not noig to be masik between tkiyah shofar. We see the severity of it. How he wouldn't allow. He'd rather make a hefsek between the tkiyahs rather than allow it from before. That's an excellent question. I doubt it. They made a new bracha because they were probably yaitza. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Would it have been a one-time thing, or was this every year? Like, was there a disease running around in the town when the cholera was down?
What?
Was there a disease? Was it running around? Was the disease running around? It was a one-time.
Yeah, there was such a thing going around. It was.
So it was a one-time.
Yeah. Akopanim halacha l'maisa. There's a few differing opinions out there. We know the famous Meiser of Henkin, Baron Cutler allowed in the yeshiva. He instituted that they have a kiddush before the tkiyas, and all the yeshivas follow suit. And the truth is, it was done in Europe in many yeshivas already before. That they had a kiddush before the tkiyah shofar. And Rav Henkin would write them a letter, actually to Scheiner. He would write to Baron Son a letter every year, protesting the fact that they would have to eat before tkiyas. And when he was sick, he wasn't well anymore. He didn't remember anything. There were a few things that he would constantly say over, and one of them was, "You can't eat before the tkiyas." This was bothered him to no end. So those that Mishamoifen, to such a pirza to allow everyone without a cheshbon. If someone's weak, his cholosh is weak is one thing, he has to eat. But someone else, Rabbi took the brisket mahalach. Today everybody's weak. Who could fast? Who has the koiches to go ahead and go through the whole davening? I asked Rabbi Miller, because he's also very adamant that nobody should eat before the tkiyas. So I asked him, Rabbi says yeshiva. So I don't know what he said. He started yelling at me. The gist of what I got was that if you davened back then, Rav Aaron's days, they finished davening at 4:30. You finished davening at 4:35. You had no choice. You had to eat something. But you go today. You finish much earlier. What are you eating?
Is there a problem in general of having your fasting essentially half a day on?
Yeah. So what about fasting half a day? So some people will take a tea or coffee before davening. But before davening is also a problem. Thing before davening, it's earlier than. So there was a shita. It's brought down in the bottom here, the Matei Ephraim. I forget who it was. There's a shita that says that Hayois is not as man mitzvah yet. Before davening, it's not as man mitzvah yet, which it really is. But he says since nobody does both shofar then, so just like kiddush, right? When you get hilchos kiddush, you're allowed to eat before shachos without making kiddush because it's not as man achila yet. It's not as man mitzvah of making kiddush until after. That's what the kiddush clubs are after shachos, because before shachos, it's not as, you can't make kiddush. You can't have kiddush club. So it's not as man for kiddush. So he says it's not as man for tkiyas yet. So therefore, you can take a little bit before davening. That's very difficult because right away in the morning after halois is already the zman. The mate, the halois is already the zman. See, so it's a difficult shita. L'maisa, there are those that are anyways makel that you could take a tea and a coffee, and you see a lot of people used to expect the older men would go down and take a tea and coffee without making kiddush. So makel that samech on certain shitas that you don't need to make kiddush just to take a little drink. We hold not like that. We hold the person has to make kiddush before he drinks in the day. But nonetheless, there are those that are makel and the shas hatzorich. There's a makel that a person needs that they should take a tea and a coffee without making kiddush. That's how a lot of people are noyeg. But the general populace is noyeg that if they need to eat something and make kiddush, but it's proper that one should eat less than a kabeya. Now, even though a kabeya or less, that even though it's a question if mizoynus is included in that or only bread, it's a big machlokes. But l'maisa, we're noyeg that. We're noyeg by sukkah. You go into a sukkah. You make a leisha basukkah on a piece of cake. That's that's a shear. You could buy a sudan. So memela, it's kedai that the person should eat. Once he eats a little bit, he could take a coffee. He could take some vegetables. He could take something else afterwards. That's enough to get him by. So it's kedai that even those that are makel to make kiddush should take less than a shear. A shear is a kabeya, should take a kabeya or less. More than a kabeya is already a shear.
Are you better off not eating mazunas?
Well, then you have a problem with the kiddush. It's a question. You have to make a kiddush b'makam sudas. You need a mezainis. For kiddush, you just need a kazayis.
Right. So I'm thinking, like, if you want to not, so you don't have a tomato. Have a decent tomato.
Yeah, there are some people that will hear kiddush with someone else and then eat not a mezainis. Okay, there's a question if you go to kiddush like that, if you could do that. Because you have there's no issue.
Sorry, to make it simpler, before davening. You want to a person wants to go before davening, wants to have something to eat, but they don't want to even get shaila. So if they stay away from the zuna, so they're staying away from the shaila.
Yeah, it's te'ima. That's already te'ima, which if a person needs it, one could be makel on that. Yeah. But that's the shita on that.
About 6 ounces. 6 ounces?
I don't know how much a kabeya is. A kazayis is there's different sheetas. It could be ready 2 ounces, 3 ounces. But how do you measure it? 1 ruggle of it is probably not a kabeya yet. 1.5 is already 1.5 is maybe you can still have.
So what's the best way? Is it better to essentially fast for half a day? Or
You have to know yourself. If you can do it and how long the davening is, it's hard to answer that.
No, but besides your own, is there
if a person is buried, person is healthy and it doesn't bother him at all, so he shouldn't eat.
So there is no problem with doing essentially a half day fast?
Yeah. We'll make it on that. Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay to fast.
For the Baltiki himself, is there a special set of rules for?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a special set of this Baltiki. The first year I blew here, I didn't eat. I couldn't get a single sound out. So the second day Rosh HaShana, when they made Kiddush, I ate a little bit. I had no problem. So I spoke to someone here that blows. I spoke to him and I said, it was the strangest thing. He says, I have the same thing every year. He says, because you need the wetness in your mouth. And if some people, if you don't eat anything, it doesn't work. So he makes Kiddush. That's how he used to always make Kiddush and take a little bit, and then he had no problem. So I don't know. He also same thing. Yeah. So you need something sometimes to be able to do it. That's a question. But there's definitely there's definitely, if a person could do without it, it's definitely better. And Allah, there's no question, it's better not to eat. But look, Byron Institute and all the yeshivas, they all do it. There's no questions asked. They put out a kiddush and everybody goes down and make a kiddush.
So there's a question asked, Rabbi Henke.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
What if somebody has to take pills and has to eat with the pills?
What?
If somebody has to take pills and eat with the pills.
You have to eat with the pills. Yeah. So also take a little bit. You have to do that. Yeah. You have to take in the morning. You could take you could take before Shachas, a little drink. Oh, you have to eat with the pills. You have to eat with the pills. Yeah.
Like supposedly everybody could do it. Well, we say like people have time, but just about everybody could do it because on Yom Kippur they do it the whole day. So
yeah, but it's painful. It's not easy. You're hungry. It's hard to daven and what?
That last SHOFAR at the end of Yom Kippur. I don't know how the guy does it.
Right.
Do it this year. Alan's now in the.
He cheats. It's a recording.
Excuse me. Sorry. In your experience, that kibetza of Mizanis is adhered to?
Is what?
Meaning the limit of a kibetza is adhered to?
I make the announcement every year. People are annoyed. It takes away the geschmack of the kiddush, But it's not. There are shittas that I make a lot more. I'm not saying. And the size of a kibbeh is very debated. Go look in Badner's book. You'll get a huge kibbeh. So I don't know. Oh, interesting. By women, the shaila is a little more relevant also. Women that are here to Tkiyah Shofar. By women, there's no chiyuv. Women are potter from Tkiyah Shofar with their raisa. This mitzvah says she has magrama. There's no chiyuv. But they were makabel on themselves, sort of. They're no good to hear the certain mitzvahs that even though they're potter from that, but they sort of do it. They were makabel themselves to hear it. So so the women generally go and hear shofar. So the question is, do they have this problem of eating before the tkiyas also? It's very relevant. Do they have this problem of eating? So technically they would have the problem. It's a mitzvah, and before they do it, they shouldn't eat. But then again, it depends on the situation. Many of them don't hear the shofar till later. So if they don't hear it till later, then they're not made to not eat before. They eat all Suda before, and they hear the shofar after the Suda, some of them. So depending when they're planning to hear the shofar, there's room to be makel on the woman, because they're not chayiv mikra adin, and if it's necessary, they could definitely eat. So if they're not hearing shofar till 4 o'clock or something, they definitely could eat before. If they're going to hear shofar in the morning, and sure, it's better if someone needs it, if they need it, they definitely could go ahead and eat. On the topic of women, there's no chiyuv for them to hear shofar. There's a serious issue with about the care blowing for them, because they're not chayiv in the mitzvah deraisa, and you are chayiv. So what? So the question is, let's say you're going to blow for them. In order to blow for someone, there has to be a arvus, because you're both chayiv. So you could, even though you already yotze the mitzvah, you could still do the mitzvah again for them, right? Even though I make kiddush already, I can make a kiddush for you, because since you're chayiv and kiddush, so what's the din of arvus, close on ravens, I could do it for you. So there's a question if this applies by noshim. It's big mafek rishonim. If a man could be moitzi a woman and tkiyah shofar if he was already yotze the mitzvah. So it's a big shaila. L'maisa, we do it. But the question is with the brachas. The brachas are making the brachas. They should make the brachas themselves. They shouldn't be mighty the brachas. The tkiya, it's easier. The tkiya, it misses the shmiyah. But the brachas, the halach is, the Shulchan Aruch says that a man cannot make the brachas for the woman. So if he's being, there are those that argue to say he could, but halach and Shulchan Aruch, the basic halach is that a man does not make the bracha for women if he's not being yotze then. If he's being yotze, he can make the bracha. He's being yotze anyways. But if he's not being yotze, he already heard it, he already blew, now he's blowing for them, so he does not make the bracha. They make the bracha themselves, and then he blows. That's the, what?
The women make the bracha themselves.
The women make the bracha themselves, yeah.
Do they blow themselves?
They could blow themselves, yeah. But, they could blow themselves, but generally they don't. Yeah. So that's halacha for women. I mean,
can they blow for a man?
what?
Can a woman blow?
A woman can't blow for a man for that reason, because she's not chayiv, he's chayiv. She can't blow for a man.
Can a woman blow for another woman?
A woman can blow for another woman. They're on the same level. That's the mishnah. But a tumtum and a braidiness can't blow for each other.
Could a cotton blow for a woman?
A cotton is not chayiv mitzvah deraisa. A cotton can't blow. Now the problem is, the question is, a cotton that's bar mitzvah, but he could be he's not bar mitzvah deraisa, right? Because to be chayiv deraisa, we spoke about this last week. He has to have shtei cyrus. He has to have 2 hands. So we only have a chazaka the Rabbi that he's a gadol. So the question is that works for deraisa. So a cotton blowing is problematic. Not a cotton, even a bar mitzvah boy blowing, unless we know he's a real gadol, it's problematic.
What's
Now,
happened, you treat it like a full daraisa, or you could let a lady blow for a man?
No, so also can't. Same halachas, yeah. But that's interesting what you're pointing out. The base mayor, eating before his kiyas, he makes a chiluk the first day and the second day. Since the first day is deraisa, he's machmir like the Magen Avram, that you can't even have te'ima, but the second day, which is Rabbanan, is more mekel that you can make kiddush and eat before the tkiyas the second day. What's the zman? When does tkiyas shayfer? What's the zman for tkiyas shayfer? So we know the tkiyas shayfer is right away in the morning, right? The mitzvahs, after all the mitzvahs on the day start technically from Alois, but we don't do it until Neitz. We don't do any of the mitzvahs until Neitz Achama. So if someone can't do it after Neitz, so then if it's a real big b'diavad, so then possibly you could do it earlier by after Alois. But preferably all the mitzvahs start on the day, we're machmer not to do it until after Netz. Now, it's relevant, if you make these early minyanim sometimes for people that are running minyanim elsewhere, so for the youth things, and they make early minyan, so it should work out that the Kiyah Shofar is after Netz. L'maisa, the minhag is, there's a minhag, kaduma, not to blow the shofar during the first 3 hours of the day, till there's man musaf. So even if there's a next minute daven early, sometimes they'll make a break, because there's a minhag not to blow. It's interesting, the minhag started for a side reason totally, because there was a gzeira, a shas hashmad, where the goyim did not want people to blow shofar, so they kept guard in the first few hours of the day, and then they left. So they had, even though they used to blow earlier, they made them blow, so they started blowing later. So once that minhag started, it became a minhag not to blow before 3 hours into the day. Now it's a very interesting thing. Today there's no shmad, so why can't we blow earlier? And if anything, we would say every mitzvah you try to do the first thing in the morning, right? There's reason maktiman. If the nets, you don't wait. So why are we pushing it off and waiting? Because Shema Yachsu Adav L'Kakul, maybe there'll come a shmad. It's a very, very interesting concept. But L'maisa, it seems that it's brought down this minhag. Every minhag, you see from here, fascinating thing. Every minhag in Klal Yisrael has a source, not just a nigla, has a source, not just those sashmad, so it happened, but even in Nister there's reasons, and it's brought down in Targum Scheiner and in Megillas Esther. I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I still brought down Yeshnei Amechad, it says over there, blowing later, and then the Zohar brings it down. So it's a minute, it became a minute that people are makbid to wait to blow after 3 hours, into the day, to blow the shofar. That's what we wait. The person waits, and unless it's not possible, they wait till then. There was a place where there was a minute to blow it right away in the morning, and I forget who it was, and the Shara Tshuva brings down that based on the Talmud Arizal, and it brings down there that that the Shara Tshuva brings down there that any soy that the Arizal wasn't Megala, the Pshatin, we don't have to be doigin. So even though some people say that the Arizal says you could blow earlier, Rabbi says they were Mavatal a minute and they blow later after 3 hours. But then Shara Tshuva, beginning of the Shulchan Aruch, forget who it was, but one of the earlier Mekubalim, I think the Rosh HaShana, I think it was the Rosh HaShana, someone, I don't remember who it was, said that, and he made them blow later. So you see there's importance, even though technically you would say the whole reason of the Shema, and that's gone, it's an interesting thing. A similar concept we have by the Tkiyas we blow. We blow, right, Tkiya, Shvarim, Trua, Tkiya, right? And then Tkiya, Shvarim, Tkiya, and Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya. We blow, because we're not sure. In the Safkele, what is a Shvarim? What is the Tkiya? So, what does the Shvarim mean? We're not sure what it is. So, Mamela, Rabbi was Masakin to blow all of it. So, we blow Shvarim Trua, because maybe the Shvarim is supposed to be both. We blow Shvarim and we blow Trua. We do all separate. Now, the nafkamina is, let's say a guy doesn't know how to blow. Let's say a guy doesn't know how to blow a Trua. He only knows how to blow a Shvarim. Yeah? So, could he make a bracha? Because it's a suffix brachas. Maybe the chiyuv is to blow maybe he's supposed to blow a Trua, and he only knows how to blow a Shvarim. We're not sure what is the shever, what it is, what the Trua is, what it really means. So therefore we blow different kinds, right? Now, Rabbi was masakin that we do all of them. So is this like a b'diavad? We're not sure what to do, so we do it all. It has nafkaminas. If you mess up, you do the wrong one. It's like a suffix. Which one is the right one? So we do all.
How do we lose that? How do we lose that?
That's a question. How do you lose that? I mean, a lot of things we have change in different places, different minhagim. That's what it came out. Certain places they were blowing more shvarim like, and certain places they were blowing the Trua like. So Rabbi was Masaka, we do all of them. Now, in the Zohar it's mavur that there's Dina Kasha, Dina Rafia. The Shvarim stands for certain things, and then the Trua stands for certain things. You go through the Kisvei Arizal, there's the whole world out there, There's Tkiya Shvarim, Trua, Tkiya, that stands for one thing. There's Tkiya Shvarim, it's almost as if in the Zohar you're supposed to do all of them. You're missing one. It's not one is a stronger din, one is a weaker din. It has different meanings. So here we go. That it started off because we weren't sure what you're supposed to be blowing, right? It started off we're not sure what you're supposed to be blowing, and it ends off that it's not only we're not sure. This is the way it's supposed to be lechatchila. So a lot of things we have. You know what I mean? That the Hagam and the Nigla and the Torah that we have in the Nigla, it's one way and it's a suffix, so we end up doing both. In the Torah Sanister, it's really l'chatchila. It's the way it comes out that it's supposed to be done. Midig Yisrael Torah, when you see Klal Yisrael doing a certain thing, there's also a second day Yom Tov. The whole concept of second day Yom Tov is because they couldn't get the messengers out to tell the people, and nobody knew, right? The whole concept of second day Yom Tov is they saw them do it, but in Chutz La'aretz, it sounds like it's a tremendous b'diavad. Look we have 3 day Yom Tovs now coming up, and it's all because of a mistake that they couldn't know, and and today we know already, but Shem Yachzad Kukuli, it's going to go back. But we have to understand that you look in the Chachmas Emes, and you'll see that the second day Yom Tov has a tremendous. On Rosh HaShana we keep 2 days, even though they keep 2 days. It's all because they couldn't get Rosh HaShana didn't have time to get the Edom out, They couldn't get him out. Maybe they didn't come too late, and come after Mincha U'May, we learn the Gemara. It's all because, even though we know which day is Rosh HaShana, and you see in the Zohar that the second day, Rosh HaShana, people who can't be Zoich on the first day of Rosh HaShana have an ability to be Zoich on the second day of Rosh HaShana. Because it's din Rafia, it's easier din. It's amazing. So Morgan Avram brings down Kabbalah Torah, Shavuos is 2 days. The day the Torah was given on Har Sinai is really the second day, right? Because Moshe pushed it off a day. So Mekan Remez Yom Tov Sheni Shal Goliath, says the Gemara. So you see this concept that even though, according to the letter of the law, why are we doing this? It's like a strange reason because there was a mistake and this and that. Klal Yisrael is doing something. There's a lot of meaning, and the it's a fascinating concept, but it's 100% true. So that's the so we wait till the third hour to do it, and that's the for the Tkiya. Now, just a little bit, we know the Iker Tkiya, just so we should know what's going on. It's also a very interesting question here. The first set of Tkiyas is called the Tkiyas de Miyushav, right? The sitting down Tkiyas. You don't see anyone sitting down, but it's called the Tkiyas of sitting down. And the second set in Shemoneh Esrei is called Tkiyas de Me'umid. The minute here Ashkenazis we do it by Chazor Sashatz, not by the davening, but that's called Tkiyas de Me'umid, standing up. Why is this? Why is the first set sitting down? We know the halacha is that you have to stand. At least the guy who's blowing the shofar has to stand, and the people who are listening, if they're being yotzei the mitzvah, they should be standing. So why do we sit down? So the Mefarshim tell us, well, I'll tell you why. Because really, the Iker mitzvah is by the second set of tkiyas, which you're blowing during Shemoneh Esrei, like we said before, that the Malchiyas, the Choinas, and Shofars, all the psukim that we say, we do with the shofar. That happens during the Shemoneh Esrei. So why do we do the first set? To mix up the Satan. Satan hears it and he thinks that whatever Scheiner of Satan is, but he hears it. He thinks it's done. His job is over. We go and then we blow again. So we blow Satan. Okay, Satan. Everybody could sit down. If I can't, we want people to sit down. That they should, the people sit down. So, this is not the real tkiyas. The real tkiyas is coming up later. So according to that, what are you yotzei and mitzvah tkiyah with? The first set or the second set? The second set. The first set is a warm-up. Well, we make a bracha by the first set, and many places say, no, really, you're being yotzei mitzvah with the first set. You're yotzei mitzvah, deraisa. Deraisa, you only need 30 kolos. You only need 10, but you only need 30 kolos. Because we don't know which is the shvarim again, so we do 30. You only need 30 kolos, so once you did the first set, you're done. And then, the second set is nice. You get with the added bonus. So which is your Iker Tkiyah Shofar? Which is your real mitzvah? And it's a big shaila in the Rishonim. Which is the real one you're being yotzei with? So it's a hard question to answer. There's a lot of weight on it. But the bottom line is, we stand up for all of them, even though it's called Tkiyas de Miyushav. We stand up, cover our mitzvah. But technically, the halacha is one could be sitting in the first, except for the guy's blowing, one could be sitting in the first set, and in the second set to stand, because the Iker Tkiyah for this is the second set of Tkiyas. The B'aisa we have in mind to be yotzei by all of them, and again, I'll be side all 100 kolos have reason and sources and does different things, and there's nothing but it's a fascinating thing. Why do we blow 100 kolos? Why do we blow 100?
What's her name was sobbing.
The mother of sister, right? The mother of why does Gans Klal Yisrael all over the world blow 100 kolos? Where do you get it from? Because it says Yivava 100 times. The Targum says that she sobbed 100 kolos while sister was being killed. There's an interesting medrash. The medrash says that Sori Meinu by the Akedah. When she heard the Akedah, she died, right? When she was nifta. She heard about the Akedah. So it says she cried 100 kolos. I'll learn that out. So she cried 100 kolos.
Why do we say we have 100 kolos for a star rather than somebody
Rosh
like
yeah. So
holy, maybe.
So that's a good question. So there's every shofar is really doing two things. A shofar is doing two things. A shofar is being mechazik es hatoiv, is bringing out the good, right? And the shofar is also breaking the bad. It's being mevatel the bad. The purpose of shofar is to, besides tshuva and everything the person is doing, and the mamluch to Rebbeinu Shalom, more the main kavanas. But what a shofar really does, I have seen that there was a shofar. Shofar call, right, it was getting stronger and stronger. Why was it getting stronger and stronger? Because as the shofar was blowing, the sort of the ra in the world was becoming non-existent. As we know, by Matan Torah, everybody lost the Yetzer Hara. Death was removed from the world until they did the Egel and they came back. So, and also Lavai, by Yaimahu Yitaka b'Shofar Gadol, the Satan will be destroyed. So, we're being Ma'av the Satan, it's a bittul on the Satan, we're destroying the Satan with the Shofar. So that's the evil being destroyed, that's Sisra. This is what it's called, because Sisra is being destroyed. But there's also the Tzad HaTov, that, that we remember that Kedas Yitzchak, that what Avraham did, the greatness of Avram and the schus of Avram stands with us for the Doris. That's the Tzad HaTov. That's also 100 koilos. The concept of 100 koilos does the good and it gets rid of the evil. You have both. But every sound of the shofar has tremendous meaning and value. But the ikar kavanah a person has to have is, of course, that he's a tshuva. The person has a tshuva. So, which is a question. If you see in the Machzor, there's tefillah you say, right? I don't know what the minhag of the shul is, but in between the tkiyas there's certain Rotzens they say. So they say it here?
Right. The hero sons?
No. They don't say.
We used to. Rabbi Tal, we always did. Rabbi Korobkin.
Stopped it. Everybody used to say the Yerotzen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so by us we say the last one.
Last one.
The last one, at least about Kayas, I don't know if anyone says the last Yerotzen after the 30, first 30 koilos. Instead of saying in between, say after the 30. But there's a Yerotzen. Now the question is, do you mention the Averis? Do you mention the Tshuva? There's a whole question in the Svarim. Are you allowed to? Because we don't want to mention a Chet on Rosh HaShana. Even though Rosh HaShana is one of the Aseres who made Tshuva, right? But we try to not mention a Chet during the Shkia Shofar. We don't want to. Kesel Yom Chagenu means it's covered over. One of the things that I covered over, it says in Medrash, that the Rebbeinu Shalom is kover, like we say, Yichvah is kover shavaynis. He hides our Averis. He hides our Averis. Shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be open. So, do we mention? You want to ask for tshuva. The only time we really say is by Avinu Makena Chaton L'Fanecha. We really don't mention it in the entire. What?
Sorry. But even then, you're supposed to have in mind previous generations.
Yeah, what Chacham say, but by shofar itself, are you going to say, Chatam? So it's a big question in the Kisvei Arizal. Yes, it's an issue. Well, it says, as long as a person has the right kavanas, the ikar tshuva on Rosh HaShana is the Kabbalah al-Asad that a person should plan. A person has to have Kabbalah al-Asad, then he can have charot of everything in the past. You have the rest of the say made sure to work on fixing the past. But the first step is from today on. From today on, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm makabel. That's the Indian of the tshuva of Rosh HaShana. The tshuva of Rosh HaShana is to be makabel from today on. This is what I'm a new person. It's a new year. I'm a new person. It's a new life coming in, and I'm going to act differently this year than last year. So that's the essence of the tshuva of Rosh HaShana. So. So just to end off with just to understand, what a person's thoughts should be, the thought process during the shofar. What should be a person's thought process outside of pshat, the pshat, what a person should be thinking, pshat the shofar. So the first one is, of course, that he's being mamluch to Rebbeinu Shalom, coronating the king. That's the first step. That's just like the Aleph. It says, people have different things. Some people feel very sad and cry during the Tkiyas Shofar, and then it says the Vilna Gaon, he would be Mesameach Simcha Gedola. He would be such joy, almost dancing b'shas the Tkiyas, because he's coronating the king. The person has to. The garden was the litvak, That's conceded. But the coronating the king. That's that's malchus. And included in coronating the king is the person feels that has to realize that the Rebbe Shalom is in control, not him. Submits himself totally to the will of the Rebbe Shalom. That's like a person says Shema. One of the psukim of Malchus, the psuk, most of them say Hashem's the king in it. Okay, the king, fine. Shemelach, But the last pasuk is Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That's a pasuk in Malchus, because you realize there's no one else except Rebbe Shalom. You submit yourself to His will and finished. That's the thought process. Rebbe Shalom is king, and he submits himself to His will. Then we have Zechronos, which is actually the Shas Hadin. Shofar, the Gemara says that Kivin the Zichron Dam Kilafnim, and therefore there's halacha of Enkatega Nasa Snega, just like in the Beis Hamikdash, they wore Kohen Gadol wore 8 clothing, right? And some of that had gold in it. But on Yom Kippur, where he had to go into the Kodesh Kodeshim, he was only allowed to wear white, because the gold represented the ego. Okay, because the ego was made out of gold, so we don't know anything that represents when he's walking into the Kodesh Kodeshim. The whole Beis Hamikdash, no problem. He could be in the Beis Hamikdash doing avodah with clothing that has gold on it, but he's going into the Kodesh Kodeshim, nothing doing. He has to wear only Big Day Lovin. The shofar, we're not allowed to use a shofar of a parah, even though it's a kosher animal, because that reminds us of the ego. So Moshe says, who cares? You're allowed to wear gold clothing in the Beis Hamikdash. Moshe says, shofar, even though zichron dami is kilfnim. The person's mamash walking into the Kodesh Kodeshim. The person on the shas tkei shofar, that's the chroines. The Baruch Shalom is dealing with us. Okay, Yaakov, you're here. That's the chroines. Remember, so that's the chroines. We and our kavanas, the Baruch Shalom should remember our good parts. Everybody does things better, and some things not so good. That's a yid, and the need of zechar is we want to remember the good things that we do. And how do we facilitate that? We facilitate that as many ways, but the simplest and the most easiest way for a person to be zeicha is if you remember your chaverim in a good way. You have someone you don't like so well, remember the good parts of him. He's not totally bad. He's not an evil man. He's a good man that has some faults. We're all the same. We're all the same in our own way. If a person deals with his chaverim, dan so l'kavspas, the Rosh is dan him l'kavspas. Why? Because just like by him, I'm not interested in remembering that person's bad parts, even if he doesn't like me. But he has some good. He's good to his wife. Maybe he's. Everybody does some good things. Everybody has to. You remember the good parts of people. It's a school of neira. It's what I'm all svarim to be zeicha, that because that's what happens when you're going from Barsham. He's looking at you, So what's he going to look at? What's he going to call as important? And what's he going to say? I could overlook this. Depends. Obviously our tshuva is important, but this is especially it's one of the most important things a person could do to be zeich and din is to feel that to look only at the good of other people and not to focus on their problems. That's an important thing. That's zechronis. And then we come to shofar. Shofar is the result, sort of the result of the din. That the Rebbe Shalom is going to we daven very strongly that he should bring the geula, and the result of the tkiyah shofar should bring that that's the whole tefillah of shofars, that the Rebbe Shalom will be taka, blow the shofar, the blast of lavai, and he's going to bring the redemption. We should be zeicha that this should be our last shofar over here in Chutz La'aretz, and the Rebbe Shalom should bring the Mashiach and Yeshua to Klal Yisrael.
Amen.